Evening and a warm welcome to our first Vanarama National League highlight show of the season. Having had the reprieve, we sincerely hope, as I'm sure you do, that we get all the way through the coming season. We'll start our first roundup of this afternoon's games, though, with a club that seemingly will have some Hollywood stardust sprinkled over it in the not-too-distant future. That, of course, is Wrexham, and Richard Henwood has the details.
Wrexham are likely to be one of the National League's box office clubs this season, with actors Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney in talks over a proposed £2 million investment. They'll no doubt be delighted with this opening day blockbuster from Reece Hall-Johnson. Boreham Wood goalkeeper Nathan Ashmore won't be quite so happy, but his team were level early in the second half, as Sorbert Thomas's free kick was headed in by Kieran Murtagh. The Boreham Wood players quick to congratulate Murtagh, although another look suggests defender Jamie Record may have got his head to the ball too. But then came a goal that really deserved to be scored in front of a big crowd. Step forward, Wrexham's Luke Young. That precise finish, enough to give his team all 3 points on opening day. It's just over 2 months since Notts County lost the playoff final at Wembley, and now they're keen to use the pain of defeat to Harrogate as motivation for success this season. But they had a tough start at Dover. Jim O'Brien's shot was typical of a frustrating afternoon, which ended in defeat, as 20-year-old Harry Ransom marked his arrival at Dover on loan from Millwall with a thumping header in the 89th minute. It meant County returned home empty-handed from their trip to Kent, beaten 1-0. The first goal of the new National League season came at the Hive, where it took 5 minutes for Barnet's defence to be breached by Barnet. Tyrone Barnet, to be precise, and Eastleigh had the lead. The home side made it to the playoffs last season, and with Peter Beadle now in charge, they're hoping to launch another crack at promotion. They got back on level terms when Wes Fonguk's shot was deflected past goalkeeper Joe McDonnell. But after that piece of good fortune, things began to unravel for Barnet in the second half. A fantastic strike from Alex Winter restored Eastleigh's lead after 53 minutes. And 3 minutes later, they extended their advantage. Ben House with the perseverance to shrug off his defender and poke the ball into the net. Eastleigh's confidence was growing, and they wrapped up victory with 2 more excellent goals. First through Cav Miley. 1 touch to control the ball, another to finish. And the final goal came 15 minutes from time, created and scored by Abdoulaye Baggy. It all added up to a statement of intent from Eastleigh, but an early season headache for Barnet.
Some win for Eastleigh. Bad start, of course, for a new-look Barnet. We'll come back to that in a moment. But Dover's win over Notts County, that's not the start Notts County and Neil Ardley were hoping for, Zaf.
No, not at all. I would be thinking that they would have wanted a fast start, but I've played at Dover, and normally it's a hard, tricky place to go to, so it's a good win for them.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I think it was the on-loan defender Harry Ransom from Millwall.
Yeah, Millwall.
What a start!
Yeah, that's
thumping near post header on the 90th minute.
What do you want?
Oh.
What more do you want on your debut? Go in. Great header, by the way. As I was just talking about, great ball in. What a header! You can't leave something like that free out in the middle of the box.
No, he does look a target, doesn't he? He looks a big lad.
It's a strange one, because we knew with Dover we're going to have to do something, obviously, with the troubles at the start, and can we going to do this? Players are going to have to go, and as I said, they do what they do, dip in, use a few contacts and get players out from Millwall. Fantastic.
Yeah, Peter Beadle's come in at Barnet to replace Darryl Curry, but Darren Curry, not Darryl Curry, works for us. But not the day he wanted to start. Eastleigh obviously under Ben Streven's terrific, and we both just caught a glimpse of that Alex Winter strike. What a hit that was.
What a strike. What a strike from a centre-back as well. So for me, but yeah, let's see it again.
Yeah, well worth another look.
Get on this.
I mean, it does sit there and say hit me, but wow.
The technique on it is unbelievable.
Yeah.
What a strike.
Yeah,
tremendous. Days going with you, don't you?
But they've changed, I think, most of the squad at Barnet. I mentioned the managerial change. Not easy.
Well, they always do it though, don't they?
Yeah. True.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing. Like we always look at Barnet and think, well, here we go again. So they've tried it again, and we'll see how. No, we've got to give them time to see how they bed in. But as I said, for them, it's another transition again.
Yeah. Now, normally we champion you as the showbiz elements of the National League, but I think you're going to get outgunned at Wrexham by the sounds of it with Ryan Reynolds and who is it, Rob McElhenney?
Yeah, they'll be all right.
Supposedly watching online. talking about putting a couple of £1 million in.
Yeah, well, the good thing is if they put the £2 million in, they should be all right. But then there'll be a few people saying they don't need too much money out there in the National League pot. But
yeah, they might want to wait.
They might want to wait a little bit,
put
to get
in.
that done. But yeah, I said, look, for us, National League, that's what we want, isn't it? Fantastic. Obviously, you're normally the big star when we go there, so you'd be all shone for a change.
That's not even remotely true. Not even remotely true. But it's listen, the National League, it's fantastic to get a little bit of stardust sprinkled here and there, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's good for the league to get some good publicity as well, and I think it'll be good for their fans, the club in general. I think it'd just be good for football. Now people will start watching it a little bit more and taking a bit more notice of not only the stardust but also the players that are playing.
Dean Keats will be happy.
Yeah, well, he's targeted promotion, maybe on the back of the fact that
he's got 2 million coming in. That's why.
Maybe he's been told to.
Yeah.
Good start, nonetheless, for Wrexham. OK, on we go to 3 more games, and that'll include 2 teams that met today, both promoted to the National League, and Sam Ashew has the details.
Weymouth might be a seaside town, but it was Altrincham that was almost underwater here. 2 of the National League's newest recruits welcomed to the division with broomsticks and a soggy pitch. There would be no wave of goals either, instead just a sprinkle of action. Ollie Harfield's goal line clearance from a Josh Hancock header, the game's standout moment. Bring back the broomsticks.
I think it's actually probably a good game, for the mutual, and I think probably both sides probably could have, nicked it, and probably the pitch playing a part in that.
The wet conditions meant plenty of slipping and sliding at the Shea, and when shouts for a Dagenham handball were waved away, Halifax eventually got their penalty. Jeff King bundled over by Callum Reynolds just before half-time. New signing Luke Summerfield stepped up and duly dispatched for 1-0. Not a bad way to mark your first start at the club. A playoff loss meant Halifax just missed out on promotion last season. An eliminator hangover looked unlikely here though, and after failing to clear their lines not once but twice, Dagenham were made to pay when the ball fell to Jack Earing, whose curling effort was just too good for Elliot Justin. Shaymen will fancy their chances at another crack at promotion this season. The 4G Borough Sports ground pitch meant little danger of the wet weather causing any postponements here, although Maidenhead might have wished for otherwise after a stuttering start. Toby Show Silver leaping highest to set David Ajaboye free, and when his fine cross found Omar Bugill, there would be no mistake. 1-0 to the home side. They say corners should always beat the first man, but not in this case. Captain Craig Eastman's clever run saw him connect perfectly with Will Randall's corner. Confusion as to who scored it, with the club Twitter account describing it as a Sean Donnellan own goal. The home side continued to press. The long ball should have easily been cleared by Manny Parry. Instead, it nearly ended up in his own net, but for a scrambled last-ditch save from Tay Ashby-Hammond. Sutton may have finished last season in the bottom half, but they lost just 2 of their final 17 games. They wrapped things up here when a long throw eventually fell to substitute Callum Keeley, who fired home. 3-0 it finished. In truth, it could have been a whole lot more.
Excellent start for Sutton. Decent start, I suppose, for the 2 promoted teams in Weymouth and Altrincham. It might just be a season where it's a little bit easier for the promoted teams to do well because it's a kind of more even playing field with what's gone on financially.
I think so. Financially, it's probably a bit more even. I think also with a lot of the clubs not having the fans in. We talked about Wrexham just before, and we know how many big crowds they get. So you haven't got that atmosphere of coming up and going to bigger division, bigger crowds and stuff like that. So it's probably going to help them a little bit. But for them, we never know in the National League. You never know what you're going to get. Look at Kings Lynn today. You wouldn't think that they're going to go and dominate most of the possession. No. So it's always the league. That's why we like it. The first.
Well, we'll get a close-up look at Altrincham there at Notts County on Wednesday night. We're live with that one next up. Zav, one of your old teams, Dagenham, beaten at Halifax today, who do normally start strong, but that's a slight blow for a man we know well in Daryl McMahon.
Daryl, I know him quite well as well. I think he will be very disappointed to lose the opening game, but you can't. Yeah, Halifax, like you said, always starts fast every season. So hopefully, for their sake, they push on.
Yeah, and Maidenhead survived by the skin of their teeth last season. It all kind of went right for them right at the end with all the way it was worked out. But Sutton were too good for him today.
Yeah, too good. Sutton do what Sutton do. Start off on fire, especially at home. Dominant like normal. And then obviously we talked about how they just stayed up. But I said for them, they've got plans this year with the new stadium and stuff like that. So that it's the same thing. They need to get rid of that hangover and get on with it, really.
They're the only ones left with the artificial pitch, aren't they, at the moment, with obviously Harrogate going up?
Sutton will be, yeah.
Oh, maybe Bromley?
No, Bromley
the other
yeah,
one, aren't they? Yeah. How can I forget your old team, Bromley?
He only prompted you, so you come in with that.
Every conversation we have, we mention one of Zav's old teams. How many are there?
There's
Too many to count. Too many to count.
There's at least 3 in this league. So
at least 3 in this league. I like what you did there. I like what you did. Plenty more to come after the break, not least what we saw here in the last couple of hours with promoted Kings Lynn Town up against the heavyweight opponent in Yeovil Town, who'd made the long trip from the southwest. Goals in this one, and we'll have a good look at that when we come back. Welcome back to the Vanarama National League highlights. First one of the season, and our next stop is this stop, the Walks in Norfolk, home of Kings Lynn Town Football Club, promoted to this level at the end of last season, which wasn't that long ago, to take on one of the big guns, Yeovil Town, the visitors here today. And watching for us, the two Adams, Virgo and Somerson.
Step right.
Could be a great start to the second half, this, for Yeovil. It's sent in with that left foot of Dickinson's. Great ball, fantastic header. It is the perfect start to the half. Luke Wilkinson with the goal. Inside a minute of the restart, and Yeovil lead.
And it's all about the delivery. That's a goal ball for me. Goes in with the right pace. Luke Wilkinson, arguably Yeovil Town's best player in that first half defensively, rises nicely above Jordan Richards and just directs the header nicely into that bottom corner.
Well, the cry from the Kings Lynn bench is, come on, we're in this, and whoever shouted that, I presume it was Ian Kilverhouse, is absolutely right. Is there a goal in this for them, though? Power, into the box it went, and turned in. Took it brilliantly, did Dale Southwell, and there was a goal in this for Kings Lynn.
Well, you said they certainly were still in the game. They've kept going and going, and you always get that one opportunity. Now Yeovil are not happy at all. He's onside. Just not too sure. They're talking about the handball from Carey. They put it in for Southwell. They are certainly not happy about it.
Given a good account of themselves here, the newly promoted side, but they've given away possession cheaply here, and it's Doofus who drives it in. Fantastic goal! What a wonderful strike! And Yeovil regain the lead here, street beaten.
Good little interception there from Staunton. Diab holds the ball nice. It's a great first touch. The second touch gets it out of his feet, and then he strikes it brilliantly. He certainly knows the challenge, and McCauley's going to come across him. You have to be brave there. Put your foot through it and take the challenge, and he does that. It's an emphatic finish from him.
Let's go again, Big Ten.
Still time yet. The Kings Lynn. Outswinger from Jones. Jones hits it first time. Oh, it's in! It's another equaliser, and it's Adam Marriott, last season's top scorer, their talisman.
Picks up that second ball nicely. Just look at the precision of this pass here to allow the fullback to whip that in first time across the near post. Maybe a shade offside, but the ball coming back as well. It's a great finish from him. Makes that run across the near post area, and it's a tidy finish. How important will his goals be this season? That could be one of them.
Ian, was a point a fair reflection tonight, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I'm so proud of the boys. It was magnificent. I mean, first half I thought we was very, very good on the ball. Good rotation through midfield, and missing a little bit of end product at the final third. But then to concede early second half and then the comeback that the boys put in, well, I can speak volumes for them really. They've been superb, and that's the way they've been all, since I've been here.
Darren, I'm guessing you'll be slightly less satisfied with the point out of the two managers tonight.
Well, I'm not less satisfied performance-based. I'm less satisfied, on the fact that we went 2-1 up. We had a very experienced group of players on the pitch. We should be seeing that out. We really should be. That's my biggest disappointment. I thought performance-based. I thought a draw was probably fair, even though we probably nicked the better chances.
There was certainly better second half than first Yeovil, weren't they? They got rather outplayed in that first period, but credit to Kingsland, they've come from behind twice on the opening day, having been promoted, so that shows a bit of character.
Yeah, massive. That's what you need in this division. If you're going to go behind, you've got to have something to get back in. I think when Marriott comes on, he gives you that little bit of a... You're scared because you know he can score. He comes with that thing. And I think the players, when they seen him come on the pitch, they had a little bit more belief that they're going to get back into the game. And I just thought to come back from 2 behind, like you said, though, I think Yeovil should have seen them off, really.
Here's the late equaliser. It's slightly under hit, isn't it, Zav, this pass, but it turns into a good pass.
Yeah, I still think the winger or the defender should do better.
Stop that.
At least stick his leg out, or do something, not let the cross go in, or even like Grant, you said,
Clean him out.
Take everything out.
But Marriott, that's what he does. That's why he's got 54 in 62, I think.
That's what he does. That's his movement. He gives a great ball, by the way. As much as we were saying, he should great ball across, and that's what he does. Gets in the great areas, cross the man, great little deft touch, and away he goes. And he's up and running. As I said, I can see him scoring goals this year. I don't know how many. I don't think he'll get as many as. But
this one, their first equaliser, there is. I don't think it's offside from the cross, but possibly from the chest. I think they may have missed the officials, we think.
Yeah, massively, and that's why Yeovil got. It's not this one. It's just the next one when it comes off his chest.
Yeah,
just there. Look.
Yeah. It's for me. It's obvious as well. Like I've been saying it, I sound like a broken record, and it sounds like I'm against Kingsland, but the lino has to see that and have to call it offside. It's obvious for me.
Yeah. I think, well, not obvious enough for them to have seen it, it seems. Obviously no VAR at this level.
No, thankfully.
Well, unless you're a Yeovil player with your arm in the air.
But that's well, they had a conversation, the referee and the linesman. But I think that the second one there, I think the referee's got to say to the linesman, look, he did trust you, and then you would know.
Yeah. On we go to the rest of the games. Now, listen, Stockport obviously made a pretty good return to the National League last year, finished 7th, thought they were in the playoffs until the points per game average nudged Barnet in and them out. How would they go second season under Jim Gannon? They started at Torquay today. Here's the roundup.
Stockport County were unbeaten in their final 6 matches of last season, but they couldn't start this one in the same manner, despite having the better chances. The only goal of this game came in the first of 3 added minutes, and it was Torquay's Connor Lemonhay-Evans whose effort eventually found the back of the net. But that wasn't job done, as Stockport tried to find an equaliser in the dying moments. But Torquay's defence held strong as the Gulls picked up their first 3 points of the season.
We lacked a little bit of quality. We have got the quality, but we lacked it on the day. But maybe that's credit to them. But we'll get better. And it's nice to know that you haven't played your best game and won the game.
Last season, Hartlepool took the spoils in both meetings between these two sides, and it was the Pools who took the lead in the 33rd minute. They rewarded a penalty after Gavin Houlihan was brought down by Shadrach Ogie on his debut. Up stepped the club's longest-serving player, Nicky Featherstone, who duly converted to give Hartlepool the lead. Aldershot levelled things up early in the second half. Craig Tanner shaking his marker before making a great run into the box to lift the ball over Ben Killip to get his side back on equal terms. But again, it was to be Hartlepool who would take all 3 points. Goldson working the ball well down the right-hand side before picking out Houlihan, who headed the ball home to make it 2-1 and a winning start to the season for Dave Challoner and his team, who now make it 5 wins in their last 6 home games in the National League. Woking were looking to replicate their fine start to last season as they hosted Solihull, but it was the Moors who would take the lead on 18 minutes. Cameron Cox brought down inside the area. Jamie Ward stepped up to grab his first goal for the club after signing from League 2 Scunthorpe on Friday. In the second half, Woking found an equaliser. Casey's whipped in corner, finding Max Kretschmar at the back post, who headed home to level things up. Woking weren't done there and found a winner on the 60th minute via Kane Ferdinand. Xavi Sparsov picking out Ferdinand, who slotted it past Ryan Boot to score his first goal in almost a year. Can Woking repeat last year by going unbeaten in 11 of their first 12? Time will tell.
Yeah, good start, as it is for a few teams, obviously, for Alan Dowson's Woking, but not the start, obviously, Jim Gannon and Stockport wanted. Good start, nonetheless, for Gary Johnson and Torquay.
Yeah, good start for them. Like every team wants to start with a win.
Yeah.
Like he said, they didn't play the best football at times, but it's just good that they got a good win to start off with.
It's a bit of a scrappy winner, but doesn't matter.
It's not often you see 5 men lying on the floor at the end. But that's what he talked about last year. That's what they didn't do, Torquay. They'd have lost that game last year, or they wouldn't have got anything out of it. And that's what they needed to instill a little bit, that even when they're not playing at the best, they still get up points. Because when we did see them play and move the ball, they looked really good. It was the games where they had to scrap and grind that didn't really achieve goals.
Mentioned that Alan Dowson's Woking were right out of the blocks last season. Done it again today. Kane Ferdinand with the winner.
Yeah, and it's a good... for me, the striker done brilliant. After he realised that he couldn't get his shot off, and he laid it back for a little tapping, and that's brilliant visual.
Speaking of strikers, he wasn't involved today, Ross McCormack, for Aldershot, the big name signing. Cost so much money just a few years back for Aston Villa. Not quite fit enough, I think, yet.
Yeah, I think so. It's one of them, when he comes late and he's not been involved. It's always difficult when you've not got a club and you don't really know who you are to keep fit and try and do it properly. You need to get in, you need to do proper sessions, proper football sessions. But look, there's no doubt when he comes in the building, he's going to give them something to that squad.
All the showbiz names in the National League: Ryan Reynolds, Grant Holt, Ross McCormack,
Adam Virgo, don't miss Adam Virgo out.
Wow, I'm getting my head spinning. Let's have a look at the games that come next Tuesday and Wednesday for all the National League sides, now that we are happily up and running. Aldershot at home to Sutton. You can see who all the home and away sides are as we go. And as you can see, our Wednesday game live on BT Sport is Notts County beaten today against Altrincham, who took a point on the road. Before that, 2 more Premier League games for you tomorrow on the BT Sport channels. They both start at 11:30, the build-ups to both Leicester West Ham, that's on 1, and BT Sport Ultimate. And at the same time, over on 2. We've got all the build-up from 11:30 to Southampton, West Brom. Kick-off in that one again at midday. That, as I say, over on 2. Just time before we go to mention that obviously the National League North and South teams are also reprieved with the government money. We're in FA Cup action today. Not least York City, who nearly came up to this level last season, just pipped by Kings Lynn on points per game. And they were in FA Cup action at Warrington Rylands. And a wag took a picture of the York City subs bench, apparently, for today, as the man next to me, Mr. Holt, pointed out, it's not actually a bench, that.
They're actually pub chairs.
It's a collection of pub chairs. Yeah. They did win, though, York.
They're better with chairs like that.
Excellent stuff. Thank you very much for braving the cold. And listen, it is our privilege to be inside National League grounds, isn't it? For all the folks watching at home, we're delighted to be here and to be able to bring you, whilst you can't be here with us, obviously the live football, and in this case, the highlights. As I've mentioned, we're back with more live action on Wednesday, Notts County and Altrincham, not on BT Sport 1, but high time we got out of your hair. Thanks, Zavon, for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Do it again soon. Holty, safe home. He's probably walking from here. Thanks for your company. See you on Wednesday. Bye for now.